Hey kids, how are ya? I'm here with Miss Elizabeth and Talia and Kayla, and we're at their house looking at their chickens. Really? Elizabeth, you have some chickens here. Look at this chicken. It's so awesome. What's her name?
Do you have a name for her?
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Chocolate
She's
the
got
chicken.
some socks on her feet. Not all chickens have feathers on their feet.
Oh, really?
But this one does.
What kind of chicken is it?
She's called a rustic rambler.
A rustic
And
rambler.
They lay, I forget, they're mixed between something, but they lay chocolate colored eggs, supposedly. So,
Yum. Like, are they chocolate inside too?
no, they're just dark.
Oh, just chocolate. Oh, just the
Just
chocolate.
regular eggs.
Oh. Well, that's
Yeah.
okay because I like eggs anyway.
Yeah.
But so, how many chickens do you have?
We have about 19
chickens.
Yeah. And but this pen we only have 5 in the pen because they eat a lot of grass.
Oh, okay.
So we have to move this pen every day.
Really?
So it needs to be moved now. You can see.
Is it easy to move?
Not really. Daniel and Justin move it for me.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
you get a lot of help.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have their food in there in that little swing.
Oh, that's so
Sometimes they
cute.
jump up and they swing.
And look at the eggs that they're laying. Look at that. Are any of them the chocolate eggs? That brown one? No?
She only lays like 2 eggs a week right now.
Oh, that is so cool. So they eat grass and then they drink or eat the food and then you have to give them fresh water. Is that like every day?
Yeah,
give 'em fresh
we
water
give 'em
every day?
fresh water every day, and then once a week we have to scrub out the water dish because it gets green with algae.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So they're
That is pretty
easy.
cool. I love them.
Yeah.
Oh. And you said they're really friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they like mint. Oh, look at that.
I'm gonna feed her some mint.
I didn't know chickens like
Oh
mint.
look, she grabbed it from her.
Oh, look at that.
And then the light colored one is a Czechoslovakian Easter egger. So
Does she lay Easter eggs?
they're supposed to lay blue eggs, but she lays a brown egg.
Oh, she's a little stubborn.
I know.
She's colorblind.
Yeah,
that might
yeah,
be it.
for sure.
So kids, would you like to own chickens? I know I would. So you know what? Elizabeth lives on an orchard too. So let's take a field trip right now and go see all the cool things that's on this orchard, okay? Hey kids, we're here at the cherry orchard at Elizabeth's orchard. These are cherry trees. We're gonna walk through the cherry trees. And Miss Elizabeth, would you tell us why there is a dome over these trees?
All right, so the cherries, they actually are just like people, they get sunburned. And so this kind of helps to protect them from the sun. It also helps to diffuse the light evenly, so you get a really good color on your cherries. And it also, when it rains, cherries tend to crack like this. See, this one wasn't quite under the canopy and it got wet and then it cracks. And nobody wants to buy cracked cherries because they're kind of gross. So if we cover them up and protect them from the rain, then they don't crack. Then you get a really nice cherry like this one.
That is
Nicer.
pretty cool. I
Yeah.
love cherries. Do you guys like cherries?
We love
Yeah,
cherries.
they're really good
You
for
can
you.
take your mask off.
Well, that is really interesting. That's something
Yeah.
I didn't know. So
And then they buy these party streamers. We put the party streamers on the cherries because they scare the birds away. 'Cause
cool.
the birds also really like cherries.
Well, let's take a walk
fun.
through. Let's take a journey right through the trees.
Yeah, we love cherries, don't we, girls?
Yeah. Cherries are really good for you.
Especially cherry pie.
Here's yellow
Oh, cherry
cherries.
pie. Oh. So they're just not ripe cherries.
No,
they're
these
just
are
yellow.
yellow cherries.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Look at this just heavy laden with cherries. That's awesome. Yum. Do you guys like cherries?
They're so good.
Here we are. We're in the strawberry patch. Is that right?
Yep,
Strawberry
the strawberry patch.
Awesome.
So they plant them on this plastic. It helps to keep the weeds away from the berries because you can see all the weeds growing up.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't want to have weeds in your strawberries. And why wouldn't you want to have weeds? Why?
They steal all the nutrients in the plant food that the strawberries need to
Oh,
grow
well.
and be healthy.
Yeah.
So,
And then we wouldn't have good strawberries to eat.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. First, the strawberries blossom into flower. Then the bees come and they pollinate the flower. And then they start to grow little strawberries. So that's a baby strawberry.
and this
it'll-
is a baby one right here.
Yeah, in the middle.
Wow.
And then they will grow and become red.
Elizabeth, do they need rain and sun both?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, rain and sun.
If they didn't have enough rain, what would happen to the strawberry?
It would turn brown and
Ugh,
die.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they didn't have sun, they wouldn't produce fruit.
Okay.
The sun, the leaves get the sun, and it helps them to absorb the nutrients, and then they grow and produce berries.
You know, that was pretty smart of God
Mhm.
to give us sun and rain both so that He can nourish the fruits and vegetables for us,
Yep,
right?
yep,
That's awesome.
definitely.
God is good.
So we put straw down in the rows to keep the weeds down, and then in the winter time we cover them up with straw to protect the plants. And so then about March we come in and rake off all the straw, and it goes in the rows to keep the weeds from growing up. So that's why they're called strawberries.
So really, that's
Yeah.
really why they're called strawberries.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Little grown up strawberry. Do you want to pick it, Kayla?
Mm.
Yeah, we love strawberries. We love strawberry shortcake and strawberry pie.
So how many things can you make from a strawberry? So Miss Elizabeth, you said you love strawberry shortcake,
Strawberry
pie,
smoothies,
smoothies.
strawberry ice cream, homemade strawberry
Oh
ice
my
cream is the
goodness.
best.
And just plain old strawberries, of course.
Strawberry jam.
Oh my goodness. There's just so much you can make from strawberries.
So much you can make from strawberries.
Yum. Is there like a bug or something that loves strawberry plants but is not good for the
Yeah.
strawberry?
Yeah, slugs.
Slugs.
Slugs love strawberries. And mice.
Really?
Mice love strawberries.
Mice
Yeah.
and strawberry and slugs.
So we have mouse traps that you
Oh.
put out in the spring when the
Okay.
mice are really bad.
All right.
And sometimes there's some things that we can spray to keep the slugs away
Okay.
from eating the berries.
So you work really hard on this
Yeah.
orchard
Yeah.
to make sure that these fruits produce what you want them to so that people can enjoy them.
Yep. And
Yep.
this spring we had
this is
the
good.
berries were already formed, and they were white strawberries out here, and it was getting really cold. So farmer Justin, my husband, had to come out and cover this whole area with white blankets. We cover 5 acres with white blankets, so this all looked white, to keep the strawberries from freezing.
Wow.
And some years he sleeps outside with the strawberries so that he can be right beside them and read the thermometer. And if the thermometer is getting too low, he can do certain things to keep the strawberries from freezing.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is amazing, right? Like that Farmer Justin,
Yeah.
cares that much about the plants.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me a little bit about God, how much He cares for us,
Yes,
right?
most
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
How about some raspberries?
Oh,
You wanna see some
raspberries.
raspberries?
I would love to see some raspberries. So I'm here with Daniel Weaver, Miss Elizabeth's son, and Daniel is going to tell us all about these blackberry plants.
Before we buy these, we put this plastic down like with strawberries, and then we buy these little stick things with roots, and we tear a hole in them, dig a hole, and put them in, and they grow up in a few years, and we'll have blackberries.
So these are like a baby plant.
Yes.
This would be, because how big do they get?
They probably as tall as me.
Have you guys ever had a blackberry? Blackberries are really good. They're like really dark purpley color, right? Sometimes really black looking, but they are really yummy. My My dad loves blackberry pie. So, but that's pretty cool. So they just grow along, and they probably need the same nutrients as the
Yep.
strawberries and the sun
Yep.
and the rain and all that.
And the cherries.
And the cherries, they all need all that to grow. When will these get blackberries on them?
So these babies probably won't get blackberries until probably maybe next year. It might be next year, maybe 2 years from now.
Oh wow, so you have to kind of be patient.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to use some patience
Yep.
there. It probably is worth it, right?
Yeah.
If you wait and you patiently wait and you get these yummy blackberries, and then people come along and pick them and eat them, and well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do have to be patient with
Yep.
things in life, don't we? I love them. So there's rows and rows of them. Wow, that's pretty cool. So Daniel, we just saw baby blackberries. Now these look like babies too, and they kind of look like a blackberry, but they're different, right? What are
Yes,
they?
These are baby red raspberries.
Oh, red raspberries.
Yes.
That is so cool. And did you help plant these? Did you help with this?
Yes, in some ways.
Yeah. So it takes a lot of different people to plant all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? When I'm riding my bike and I see some like wild raspberries and everything, you know what I see on them sometimes? I see like little beetles, and they want to eat the leaves. And I'm guessing that if the beetle eats the leaf, then the fruit might not produce. But I think these eventually grow taller, right?
Yes, these will
Let's-
grow about that size with
over here. So they grow to this size.
yes.
That's cool. Now I see that there is some raspberries on here, but they're really green. So it's only going to take a few weeks for them to turn red.
Yep.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, I love raspberries too. You know, come to think of it, I think I just love fruit. So I'm at a good spot right here. So Daniel, we went from a baby raspberry plant to unripe raspberries, and I see some red here.
Yes.
So can you show us what a red raspberry would look like,
So
right?
there are a few that are ripe here. This one is not quite there yet, but it's fairly dark. In a few days it might be ripe. But if it's like this and a little bit darker, it would be ripe.
Hey, we're now in the apple orchard. Oh, who doesn't love apples, right?
Love apples.
Yeah, you can use apples for all kinds of things. But Miss Elizabeth, look at these little baby apples
They're
on this
so
little
tiny.
tree.
Yeah, because the apples aren't going to be ready until September and October. It's when the first apples start coming in. And we pick our last apples usually the first weekend in November. So the apples are more fall thing. But
Okay.
if you bite into a nice juicy red apple and you take that seed out
Okay.
and you plant that seed, that you will get a surprise.
Really? You don't get an apple tree? What do you get, an orange tree?
No, you might not get the apple that you ate. You might get a
Really?
new apple, yep. Because apples, how they plant apples is that they take parts of the tree and they graft that part of the tree into the rootstock.
That
And
is so
then
cool.
you graft whichever variety of tree, you graft a branch of the tree, say, I don't know what this is, pink lady. These are pink lady, okay. If you want another pink lady tree, you take part of the branches off and you graft it into the rootstock.
That is so interesting.
Yeah. So in the Bible it says we've been grafted into God's family.
You're right.
So
You're
that's
right.
kind of Jesus knew about the trees.
He
Isn't
sure
that
did.
so cool?
He sure did. He's really smart,
Yeah.
that Jesus. Do you have to be gentle with a tree like this? You know, can't you just like go along and just rip off the apple, or
Yeah.
should you be kind of gentle?
You should
or-
be kind of gentle with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know, every year Farmer Justin comes in and he gives it a haircut.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you give it, it's called pruning. You
Yep.
take off some of the branches so that the sunlight can hit the apples. Because when the sunlight hits the apples, you get a really nice color.
Right,
If the apple's all hidden by leaves,
right.
you don't get a really good colorful apple. So we need the light.
We
too.
do. Oh, that
Isn't that
reminds
cool?
me. Jesus is the light,
Right.
and we're supposed to shine our light, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, everything just works together.
It is.
Yeah.
So we've been grafted into God's family.
Yep.
Just like these apple trees were grafted into the fruit wood.
And they produce fruit.
And they produce fruit.
Just like we're supposed to produce fruit.
And
good fruit.
if you're in the light, you produce good fruit.
That's right.
Some of our varieties of apples, we actually have to put reflective paper down to reflect the light up in under the tree to get a good color on the apple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need a little help to
Yep.
get where we're going, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we all help each other.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me of this orchard. There's so many people that work at this orchard. The farmer and the people that plant and the people that weed and the people that water and the people that harvest. I think we're
Yeah.
going to see what all the harvest that's going to come from this,
Yeah,
right?
you get to see
And
where our
you know,
harvest
it's just like us. We need each other to help us grow, just like these fruit trees.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's awesome. Wow, look at all these apple trees all the way down there. All right,
Let's go see the market.
so let's go head off to the market and see where all this fruit ends up. All right, so here we are at the entrance of Weaver's Orchard to the store, to the market, and look what we run into. We run into this beehive. Isn't that crazy, guys? Look at this. I'm holding a jar of raw honey. That's awesome. Miss Elizabeth, what are you holding?
I'm holding a bear of raw honey.
Wow.
The only difference is this is from our bees. Our hives out in the orchard are put in this jar. The honey from those bees are put in this jar, and this is from somewhere else.
Okay, all right. So I do know one thing about honey, this raw honey. I know that it helps allergies a lot.
Oh,
It
I'll have
helps
to
if
try
you
that.
have allergies, like to different like pollens. If you take a tablespoon of raw honey every day, it
Wow.
really makes it feel better. Yeah, honest
Good. I'll
truth.
have to try that.
Yeah. So isn't that amazing how God has created something so natural for
Yeah.
us to feel better?
So fun.
That's so cool.
And
yeah.
the reason we have the bees on the orchard, remember the flowers on the strawberry plant?
Yeah.
The bees, they pollinate those flowers so that they can produce fruit. Without the bees, we don't have fruit.
That's amazing.
They're
Wow.
tiny, tiny.
I'm excited. I might have to take a jar of raw honey home myself. All right, so we're going to go inside the market and we're going to see the harvest of what the different things that we've seen today and even more things.
Yeah.
So let's go on in. So these were from last harvest season.
Green apples we saw out there are pink lady, and they will grow to look like that. They'll be pink if they get the right amount of sunlight. You can see the part of the apple that doesn't get the sunlight is light colored. The part of the apple that gets the sunlight is red. So
Very
that's why
cool.
we prune.
So here we are at, it's kind of like the outside of the market,
Yeah, this-
right?
yeah.
And here's all these things that we saw. We saw cherries and raspberries and strawberries. We didn't see blueberry plants, but we see them here. That is so
all
cool.
the things we put, except for our blueberries aren't quite ready yet. So these are from New Jersey, but the rest of these are from our farm.
That's awesome. Boy, they look really healthy.
Takes a lot of people to pick them.
It does. Yeah, a lot of people. And oh, that's awesome. So, Miss Elizabeth, I really thank you a lot for giving us a tour of your farm or of your orchard. But right behind us, I see some goats. You have goats here?
Yeah,
Look
we
at
have
that goat
some
up there.
goats here.
Look at, he's walking the ledge.
That's
So
right.
now, do these goats help you to weed, and are they employees of the orchard?
No, they're just for fun.
They're just
this
for
is our
fun.
petting zoo area,
Aw.
which is closed right now, but it'll be open up
Awesome.
soon.
I know it's a lot of fun here, and I've been here before with my grandkids, and they've had a lot of fun. So, but
Wonderful.
we just thank you so much.
Right.
So everybody, I hope you had a great time on this field trip today, and we will be seeing the Weavers again, and maybe you guys can even come and visit and pick some fruit and eat some fruit and vegetables and just have a great time. So Thanks again, guys. Thanks
Thanks for
Daniel.
coming.
Bye.